up, bitches? It's Multiplier here, and different style of video today. Normally it's all, look what I'm doing, technical thing. This time, flipping the script, we're doing a conceptual thing, and it kind of answers a lot of questions I've been asked over a long time, which is, well, basically the idea of this video is I'm going to give you an important idea that I think will help shape a lot of what newer producers should be doing, and that is, songs are made up of ideas. They're not made up of kicks, bass lines, synths, effects, and so on. They're ideas, and then all these other things you have, whether it is bass presets or compressors or panning, all these other things are just tools to help tell the story of your idea. So you should really just focus on the ideas, and then if you've got time, work on improving those ideas. So use your kind of technical skills to help better tell those ideas, but fundamentally it's all about the idea. And I mean, the best way to look at it is, if you think about, say, I don't know, like olden days music, where, I don't know, Beatles or whatever, people would listen to it on kind of shitty radios and it would be a bad sound recording, but because the idea was good, it didn't really matter. So the fact that it didn't really sound very good was kind of secondary, because the idea was good in the first place. Granted, if you listen to it through good speakers and it was really well produced, it would sound better, but still, it was a good idea, right? So that kind of listening of that song through that shitty setup is actually going to be better than if you're listening to a perfectly crafted track that didn't really have anything interesting in the first place. So my main tip is going to be, start with the idea or multiple ideas, and then then just use all your skills to make it better. But fundamentally, start with the idea. Don't start a track by going, right, kicks. Got the kicks. Right, I need a synth in here because we'll synth start here, right? And, well, I need an off hat because, well, you always want a hi-hat on the offbeat and all this kind of stuff. That's kind of the wrong way around to look at it. You need to look at it from the perspective of, right, what's the cool idea? How can I use reverb to enhance that idea? Not how can I use reverb because, well, I put reverb on there, right? You see what I mean? It's a good analogy with kind of filmmaking. So when you're writing a film, you're telling stories. In music, we just show ideas, kind of musical ideas, or you can call them musical stories, but they're really just kind of musical ideas. But in film, you're telling stories. So all the techniques the filmers have, whether it is kind of starting off with an establishing shot, or then using a certain type of lens, and then the way they change the colour, or the way they add reverb to certain voices in certain environments, that's all there to help tell a story. That's not like the end goal. Like, filmers don't, or at least they shouldn't kind of talk in terms of, well, I like that film because it had a, oh, back onto screensaver, I like that film, I don't like that. Oh, I got into my password, I can't enter that now, you'll see what the password is. But yeah, the filmers don't kind of tell the story in terms of, oh, that was a cool way you did the focus. They do it in terms of the actual storytelling and kind of the ideas within the story. So same's got to apply within music. Start with the ideas and then use your skills to kind of enhance those ideas. So whether that idea is, wow, that was a really cool kind of chord progression, it's kind of really emotional and it just hits a good spot, how can we then enhance that? So how can we add reverb? How can we distort that in such a way that it enhances that cool idea? Or it could be, in a lot of genres, kind of like the rhythmic elements of the idea. So in, say, like house or techno or whatever, a lot of the time it's just a cool rhythmic element with maybe a nice bit of sound design. So the whole track will be built up around that rhythmic element and that bit of sound design. It shouldn't then have just generic elements added in because, well, that's what other people do, right? So it's just the kind of the way of looking at it. And it doesn't matter what the idea is. The idea could be an attitude. So a lot of the time, I mean, the reason why I think a lot of people miss the point of like trap is because trap isn't 808 and kind of some triplet hi-hats and maybe it's kind of, I don't know, like Mumbaton whoop noises or whatever. That's not what trap is with those kind of brass sounds. Yes, they use those elements, but trap is more of an attitude. So the best trap songs are, they may use the same elements as bad trap songs, but the reason why the good trap songs work is because they've got a certain attitude behind it. And you'll find it's the same with all genres. If you kind of understand the idea, then you can understand why good tracks are good tracks. So, I mean, literally any genre, you can pick one, like, I don't know, EDM. The reason why these big EDM tracks work is a lot of them have really good emotional kind of breakdowns and chord progressions, and then the drop is done in a certain way because it works in a certain environment, and that's an interesting idea. And you just got to kind of figure out, for any given genre and track, kind of what the main idea is, and then if you want to kind of emulate that, emulate the idea, don't emulate the elements and the kind of the technicalities. If that makes sense. That's a lot of talking, right? But I think it's really, really important, because I've been sent messages like, I'm not sure what to do for my drop. And it's like, it's not my song, you write the drop. And there's nothing against whoever those people are, but it's just kind of missing the point that it's kind of, you shouldn't just have, right, okay, there's a drop here, or I've got to do a drop. It should be like, just your track should be a combination of ideas, so you should write those ideas, and you can't have someone else tell you what your ideas are, because it's your track, it's your ideas. And that's why when people ask me for feedback, I'll always give them feedback, but pretty much all the time, it's the only real feedback I can give 99%, or maybe 95% of the time, is cool track, nothing obviously wrong, just didn't get me excited. And that's it, because like, it's your track, it's your idea. Who am I to tell you that that little bass loop that got you excited, or at least hopefully that bass loop got you excited, who am I to tell you that that's wrong, because it's not my idea. Similarly, I can't tell you things like, oh, your snare should be 2 dB louder, because I don't know, what's the point in that? Only you really know the idea of your track. Hopefully you can help convey that idea. And so the level of your snare should be there as a reflection of your idea. So if I'm missing the point of your track, for whatever reason, maybe it's just not my thing, maybe it is my thing, it's up to you to kind of use the tools you know and use the engineering skills you know to kind of tell that story, to demonstrate that idea. But yeah, that's a lot of talking, right? Fuck it, right, video done. So yeah, if anyone asks me again, what should I do for the drop, I would say write a drop. That's my advice. But if you want a practical idea, yeah, start with the idea. Don't just start with elements. Don't start by saying, let's make an electro house track. Let's start with electro house elements. Start by coming up with an idea. If you want to make an electro house track, cool, but start with the idea. That's kind of the most important thing. I must have said that 20 times now, but that's the important bit. That's the crux. That's the important idea. I've been Multiplier. It's been a video of many things. Enjoy.